All right, welcome to the Tim the Trader trading setup. And in this session, we're going to talk about what your computer should be like, what your internet connection should be like, what your workspace should look like, and what Thinkorswim should look like, what the desktop should look like. And we're going to run through how the desktop looks and how to set up these windows. And we're going to start really with the physical parts of your computer setup and the office. Um, First off, your computer should be current and up to date. That is, your software should all be up to date. Your browsers should be up to date. If there's on the PC side, there are certain pieces of software you need to have up to date. Make sure that's all up to date. If you're using iOS, make sure that everything is up to date there. When trading, you want to close any and minimize open windows. And really, a lot of that is, well, there's two reasons for that. One is first for you to focus just on trading. Trading should be a singular activity, and we should just focus on that and not be doing email, correspondence, social media. Get rid of all that stuff. All you should really have open is your trading windows and your trading platform. You want to just minimize any other tasks or distractions or apps or programs. You want a backup plan if the computer crashes. Okay. What is your backup plan? Do you have another computer? Do you have a mobile device? You should have the Schwab Trade Desk phone number readily available and the Schwab Technical Support Fund phone number readily available, both of which can be found under help on Thinkorswim. You can find those pretty easily, but you should have those in your phone ready to dial. Now, in terms of like a mobile device, you should have Thinkorswim, the mobile app, downloaded onto your smartphone. Very important to have that. So that you can go to it. You know, what happens, you want to think through, okay, what happens if I lost power? What would happen if I were in a trade and I lost everything? What could I do? You know, your computer freezes up, or the internet goes down, or the power goes out. At the very least, have Thinkorswim on your phone so you can get in and get out. And there's a number of ways you can do that. You can do it through the Thinkorswim app, which is you can download, or you can go directly to Schwab and you can terminate a trade or get out of a trade directly through your Schwab account. Okay. Your internet connection. You really want the fastest connection available in your area. If you have fiber in your area and fiber's going directly to your house, that's the very best. We've got fiber here. We've had it for several years now. Never goes down. The speed always remains constant. Since we've had fiber, we've never had a internet problem here. But what happens? What's your backup plan if the internet connection is lost, right? Again, have Thinkorswim downloaded on your iPhone or on your tablet, and just make it readily available. Just have it open while you're trading, in fact. And you may think this stuff never happens, but it does. At the very least, you know, you can call, if you're in a trade, you can call Thinkorswim right up to about 4:15 and have them get you out of a trade, have them sell that trade for you. Just have all your information ready to give to them, because it can take a minute to get all the qualifications, you know, where they ask you for your account number or your social security number. You know, if you have to use it, you want to jump on it as fast as you can, because it can take a minute or two to get through the clearances. Another thing is, if you don't already have it, go ahead and get voice qualification done on Schwab. Then all you have to do is say one phrase and it qualifies you for their text to talk to you. It's real simple. It's called voice qualification. You can call Schwab and they can set, I think they have it in their phone tree. They can set that up for you, but very handy thing to have. Okay, let's talk about your workspace. All right. organized and free of items not related to trading. All right. It needs to be a clean area. This is your money-making area. This is where you do your work. I really suggest you have a place that's, not on the kitchen table, not on the dining room table, but a room to yourself that you call your office that you can trade. I mean, we know that with the mobile app, we can trade anywhere at any time. But when we're trading, that first 90 minutes, particularly that first hour, we really, really need to focus without distractions. This needs to be your time. It needs to be, known in your household that this is your time for trading. This is your time for making money. This is my sole source for income. This is how I make my money. And we know not to disturb each other, during that 90-minute time. When you're trading, you are trading. A couple of tools that you should have nearby in front center when you're ready should have your trade journal, okay, and your trade tracker with you. You can combine both of those into one, book if you can, but you should. This almost should be the only thing on your desk besides a lamp, your coffee, a mechanical pencil, and usable eraser is your trade journal. You should have that and use that and rely on that. Really want you, and I know I've harped on it a lot of times before, but I want you to be in the habit of writing your trades down and going back at the end of day and reviewing those along with the MACD on the Heikenasi chart. In fact, I'm going to bring that up full right now, so you minimize the day a little bit, get it all into view here, like so. And then, go through each of the crosses. This is the end of the day ritual. You go through each of the crosses, note how many of these turned into great trades, right? Note how many, if we had just stayed in them longer, turned into even better trades. But go along through the day and look at all the trade opportunities by the MACD that developed, and then compare that to the trades that you've made and see how those compare. Okay. And the last thing about before you start trading is you should have a calm mind. If you've had any upsets, reconsider trading that day. If anybody made you angry, if you're hungry, angry, lonely, tired, the old HALT acronym, look at those things, because those things can affect your trading, can affect your head. So we want to come in with a sense of calmness when we trade. We want to have everything out of the way before we trade. We want to have no distractions before we trade. And we want our physical environment to be clean and clear of other distractions. Okay, this is really important. All right, let's move on to Schwab, Thinkorswim. As you can see up here, I'm going to go over to another window. Over to my desktop there and share. All right. So what you're looking at is my option chain and my monitor up here. When you are first setting up Thinkorswim, you're not going to have any of this. What you're going to have is the main window that has monitor, trade, analyze, scan, market watch, charts, education, and help. And let me get my pens out if I can. There they are. They recently changed this on Zoom. So what I was talking about are these subheaders here. This is called the home page of Thinkorswim, are those items up there. Okay. I'm going to move that over. So whenever we want to create a new window, we do it from here. So when you're first starting out, you're going to go to trade right there, and we're going to go to detach or duplicate. or I guess we can do it right here. Okay. And that creates a new window. I can drag down and I'm going to put in QQQ. There it is. So you duplicate windows when you want to create more space. All right. So when you want to do charts, you go over to charts and we're going to go detach right there. And that creates a new instance of that window. All right. So I'm going to drag this down a little bit. Now, when you want to create a four-way window out of this, you come up to this box up here. Get my pen. This four-way box up here. And we're going to click on it. And we're going to select the four windows, upper right. And that's how you create a four-way, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. And I'm going to go over here. So we go to charts. And we go up here to detach. That creates a new instance of that window. We go up to the four-way window box here. I'm going to click on it. And we select the first four windows in the upper left. And that creates a four-way window. We can just drag it down. And now we can change the individual windows as we want. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And I'm going to change my view again back over to the four-way. And we're going to talk about how to set up each of these windows. Now, I strongly suggest that everyone use at least two monitors. Three is actually better, but two monitors, two that you can use for your trading. On one monitor, you should have your monitor and your trade window. And on the other window, you should have the four-way charts. And on the third window, you can have my charts. So however you want to do your charts, or you can have up Zoom or Slack, whichever you use to hear the morning. All right. So first, let's go auto. First thing we do is the upper left is a 1 minute window like that. It has VWAP and it has a volume subchart. So for adding VWAP, so you put in, let's put in QQQ. Upper left brings up QQQ. I'm zooming in a little bit to make it larger. We've got our zones in there from this morning. It's been selling off here this afternoon. So what do we need to add here? So the first thing, what we're going to do is we're going to go under style. Actually, we're going to go under the gear, excuse me. We're going to go under the gear. We're going to go to appearance, and we're going to make sure that all of our candles are filled. All right. So we want fill up, fill down, and show wicks. Border up, border down. Make sure they are green for bullish candles and red for bearish candles. This is what we have. And then we're going to go to time axis, and we're going to put in 10 on the expansion area. That's what creates this space. Let me get my writing tools out again. That's what creates this space here. So you don't want your candles right against the right border, right there. By putting in 10 in the expansion area. That will create this space here. All right. Those are those things. Once those are done, you can say okay. The next thing we want is we want to add VWAP to our windows. So we go under studies, we go add study, we go edit study, go edit study, not add study, edit study. And up in the search bar here in the upper left, we're going to put in VWAP. VWAP. And it brings up VWAP here. We're just simply going to, once we've selected it, we're going to add selected over to here. And we're going to say apply and okay. So I'm going to say apply and okay. So that adds VWAP. Now I've got two VWAPs in there. So I'm going to go back under studies, edit studies, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of one of the VWAPs. Okay. And I'm going to get rid of the other VWAP, and I'm going to go apply, and it's gone. All right. So let's add it back. We're going to go under studies, edit studies, VWAP for VWAP. There's VWAP, add selected, apply, okay, and there's VWAP. Okay. On the the volume subchart, we're going to put in $100,000 line. So let me cancel write extension. And what we're going to do is we're going to right click here. We're going to add a drawing. We're just going to use the regular line. And just going to do that. There's a red line. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to edit properties. And we're just going to change these values to 100,000. And we're going to change the endpoint to 100,000, 100,000. And we're going to say, okay. We're going to go back to edit properties, and we're going to go left extension on, right extension on. Okay. And there's our 100,000 100,000 line. And that just simply means that that's where when the underlying, when QQQ gets to 100,000, the blue bar will exceed the red line. And why is that? We need, in order for us to have a good trend, a good long trend, we like to see at least 100,000 in the underlying. Okay. Now, lately we have been falling way short of that 100,000. And you can see how when we're not reaching 100,000, we're getting just a lot of sideways movement. So that's kind of the benchmark that we've established for getting good trends, good breakouts, is having above 100,000 in the underlying. Okay. Now, I'm going to change my view again because I want to show you how to save. So once you've put this in, you want to start saving your desktop. So I'm going to go back over to where my main screen is over here. Let me say show. There we go. That'll be up in a second. So I've just switched my view back to my other screen where the monitor is. Now this is under setup. Up here in the upper right is where you save your desktop. So we're going to go and say save workspace as, and we'll go this test workspace. And we'll save that. Now it's in here. So if you screw something up, you can just simply come back under setup and go to test workspace right there. And that will reload in your workspace. Okay. That's how you save that. You want to make sure you save early and save often. So I'm going to change my view back to my main screen and we'll continue. Next thing, below that is the 5-minute window. Now you notice that this 5-minute window has a MACD study on it. Also has a center channel thing on here. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to put in, QQQ, loads in QQQ. You're going to go to the gear, appearance, make sure that you've filled up the candles, fill up, fill down, and the border up and down. Make sure those are there. Then you're going to go over to time axis. You're going to change the expansion area to 10, like so. Okay. You'll say okay to that. And then we're going to add a study. So we're going to go under studies. We're going to go to edit studies. And you can see under my studies, you may take, you can take a screen grab of this if you'd like. There's moving to line, moving crossover, and moving crossover, and MACD. So first thing we're going to add is MACD, MACD. So there's MACD right there. We add the selected. It shows up over here. And we're going to go to its gear. And we want to make sure that our fast length is set to 6, our slow length is set to 26, and our MACD length is set to 9. Okay. And let's go to, okay. So the value for the color is the blue color. All right, that is our active line. We want to make sure we show plot, show bubbles, show title, and then the average. This is this is, well, it's the averaging line. Want to make sure that that's in this kind of yellowish color. And actually the colors don't matter. You can make them whatever you want. You just want to make sure that they're 2 different colors. Okay. So we'd have that in, we'd okay that, we'd apply it and go. Now, the other things that we've been experimenting with, and you don't need to have this in, is the moving average 2 line. That is these 2 lines up here. And those get set to 10, 6, 0, and simple. Again, that just refers to these 2 lines here, 10, 6, 0, and simple. All right. And the colors we use, the fast average is the purple, and the slow average is the blue color. Okay. Again, you want show plot, show bubbles, show title on all of those. All right. You might want to get a screen grab of that to catch those numbers. Okay, so when you have those numbers in, you just do that. Now, the next thing are the arrows, the up and down arrows, which is the moving average crossover, which gets set at 10 and 6. Bring that down. Okay. Say okay to that. And the one below gets set with 10 and 6, simple, simple. All right, I'll leave that up for a second so you can get a screen grab of that. Okay, and I'm going to apply those. And I'm going to say okay. And that creates our 5-minute. Make sure this is on the 5-minute, 1 day, 5-minute view. Okay, it's one of the standard ones in here. If it's not, for some reason, you can go to customize list and you can create it in here. Very simple. All right. I'm going to cancel that. So that is our 5-minute chart. So let's move to the right and let's look at our Heikenase chart. I'm going to zoom up a bit here. So on the Heikenase chart, we have the same sort of thing. First thing is, you want to put in QQQ, and you want to make sure that you're selected under the one here. You want to make sure you selected that linkage, okay? You want the one to show up on all 3 of these charts. So whenever you change on one, it will change all 3. But more importantly, well, you just want it, you want them, so if you change QQQ, you change SPY, it will change it on all 3. But another important thing here is down on the lower right, I'll show you this. Let me get my my pen out. Right here, drawing set, there's one of these on the bottom of each of these charts. You want to make sure that these are all set the same, all right? Whether you create a new drawing set or you use the default set, which I use, it doesn't matter. They just need to match, okay? Why that's important is when you change the zones or when you draw the zones on the 5-minute, you want those to show up on all the other charts. And the only way that's going to show up on the other charts is if you are matching the drawing set. All right, very important. Okay, over to the lower right. Now I'm going to bring this one up full. And by the way, of course, you can bring all your charts up full simply by going to maximize cell, like so. And on here, again, we want to go to first thing, we want to go to the gear appearance. Make sure that all our fill up, fill down, border, border up, and doji are all filled and are done with the correct colors. Red for a bearish candle, green for a bullish candle. All right. And you want to make sure show wicks is selected. All right. And that's good there. And then we want to go to time axis. Now on this one, I've selected 30 as the expansion area right here. Make sure it says 30. And we'll say okay. And that will bring it off of the right edge quite a bit. Don't want them riding on the right edge because it's just difficult to see what's going on when it's sitting right on the right edge. When that new candle forms, it just pops up there and it's just difficult to see. All right. Now, we know that this chart is in Heikenase mode. Okay. So under style, under chart type, we have Heikenase. And why do we choose Heikenase? Because it helps us to see the trends in a run better. Okay, so like this sell-off here, all these red candles, this swing high right here, all these green candles, that can only happen when we're in Heikenase mode, because when we change it, and I'm going to change it right now over to candle, see how it changes? How it becomes all just messy, green, red, especially on the swing high here, green, red, green, red. We want to avoid that. We want to have a nice clean look. It helps us to really focus much better. So I'm going to change it under style, chart type, Heikenase. Okay, so that's there. Our candles are set up. We're in Heikenase mode. What's next? Well, let's add our studies now. We're going to go under studies, edit studies. And first thing we're going to add is a VWAP. So we go over to the search column. We put in WVAP, which stands for volume weighted average pricing. Let's try that. Volume weighted average pricing. There, we find it there. We add selected. We say okay. We say apply, and that's there. Now, just a little note about VWAP. So VWAP, as I said, is volume weighted average pricing. It takes into account volume when it is selecting the exact center of pricing, where the absolute average is for pricing. When you bring into the equation volume, it makes a more accurate average for it. And as we know, VWAP acts as a zone and is one of the stronger zones on the chart. In fact, we can see up here how much price hung out at VWAP before it finally broke through over here and over here, but it kept pressing against VWAP that whole time. All right, our next is our moving average 2 line, which we just put MOV AV BG moving average 2 line. It looks like you're going to have to type it in 2 line. There it is, moving average 2 line. We highlight it, we add it, it shows up over here. We go to the gear, and again, we want 10, 6, and 0. Okay. We say okay to that. That applies that. And then we add our MACD. So that's simple, MACD. Moving average stands for moving average convergence divergence. This means whether the line is moving away or toward the standard line or the average line. Okay, we bring up the gear on that, and we want 6, 26, and 9. This is tuned to the price frequency of QQQ and SPY. They both tend to run pretty parallel, so we can use these numbers for both QQQ and SPY. All right, it helps. What does it do? Let me apply that, apply that. We know, of course, when we get the crosses, when the blue line crosses the gold line, we're looking for a put trade, right? But right at the cross, we go directly up from the cross and we look for a Heikin-Ashi entry candle. The Heikin-Ashi entry candle has no trailing wick, which means on a bearish candle, there'll not be a top side wick. And on a bullish candle, there won't be a bottom side wick. All right, that's the second criteria for getting into a trade. We also want it, as close to a zone as possible. And that's very close to VWAP right there. So that would be the entry there. And there'd be no need to get out of this trade until we got an encompass candle, which is right here. What's an encompass candle? An encompass candle is simply a candle that if we moved it straight to the left, not up or down, but straight to the left, would fit into the candle next to it. That's an encompass candle, and that would be a cue to get out of the trade right there. Now, we've gotten away from using Heikin-Ashi a bit. That's my fault, and we're going to go back to it because it helps us sustain trades longer. Okay, so that is all the studies. That's VWAP line. Yes, sir. I heard a question there. Okay, I'm going to return that back. Now,
I do have a question, Tim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you show again how to add VWAP to the upper right chart?
Sure, absolutely.
Thanks.
Sure. So upper right chart, I'm going to go to studies. I'm going to go to edit studies. That brings up this. And I'm going to go to the little search area, and I'm going to go VWAP for VWAP. We highlight VWAP. We add the selected, and then we apply it. And there it is. There's our VWAP. Now, we want to get rid of that high and low. We just want the center line. So we're going to go to VWAP right here. We're going to go to upper band. We're going to turn off all these, show plot, show bubble, show title. The lower band, show plot, and we're going to say okay, and we're going to apply it, and there we're left with VWAP right there in the middle. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
sure. And I'm going to X out that VWAP because I don't want it. Now, this upper right chart here, this can be used for a number of things. One, it can be used for SPY, which is our alternate ETF that we sometimes trade. And on this chart, I have an RSI, really simple indicator that shows when it's overbought or oversold. I don't use it much. It's something that could be added. There is MACD below that. Now, so you can use it for the alternate one, but you can also, if you go over here on the right, you see these letters here on the right. We could add, let's say we wanted to trade off of here. So we can add advanced trader in here by hitting the AT, and the C is for chart. So we'll add chart in. And now we can trade off of here, but we got to do a couple of things before we do that. First, we want to load in a strike. And to do that on advanced trader, we're going to go up here and we're going to go, let's see, we'll go all, and we'll just put in QQQ. Okay, now QQQ is back in here, but we don't want to trade the ETF. We want to trade the option of the ETF. So in order to be able to load that into advanced trader, we're going to go, or active trader, excuse me, not advanced trader, active trader, AT, active trader. Can never get that in my head. Anyway, we're going to go up to where you put the ETF in, the symbol. We're going to go here. We're going to select options. All right. And then we're going to put in QQQ in there. We're going to select it on the bottom, and that brings up the option chain. So now, like say, I can load in the 479 call. Since the price is going up, I can load in the 479 call right here just by selecting it. Now the 479 call is in there. Now, if I wanted to get into this trade, I could simply click on buy ask, and it would give me a single quantity 3, and it would put it into the, and it would put that trade in motion. Once you're in active trader, there are flag, if you're in something that has a limit like this, sell 3, you can move this flag up and down. You can move your limit up and down during the trade. You can also move your stop up and down during a trade. And we can program in, and this is a whole nother session, but we can actually program in one button where it has a stop, a trailing stop, and a limit. Or we can program in several stops, several layers of stops in here. It's very handle, and I know very handy, and I know a lot of people use this primarily as as their trading mechanism rather than the option chain, which I tend to use most of the time. Okay, is there any questions?
A lot going on here.
Yes, how the heck did you ever figure all that out? How many YouTube and Thinkorswim videos did it take you?
It took a little while, but but you can get with Thinkorswim. Their people are great. If you ever need help setting this up, you can reserve time with them, and they will go and spend as much time with you and custom do your setup as much as you want. You can do that, or you can just simply drop me a line and say, Tim, give me your desktop, and I will send you the desktop directly in the form of a URL. So for instance, to show you that real quick, I'm going to go back over to the main window. This is the main window. Oh, there was a nice trade earlier. Over to here, and if you go over setup, and and you want to say, or if I want to share a desktop, I can share workspace. I hit share workspace right there. I say, okay. And it brings up a little URL, which I double click on.
Set up. Share workspace.
And it shows up here. And here is the workspace right here.
Oh, got it.
Okay. And that's how you share the workspace. And this is what I would send to you is this URL. I just simply cut that. And let's do this. Let's go into the chat box. And there it is. I'm going to send this to everybody. All right. So if you wanted this desktop, there it is in the meeting chat box right now. So you can cut and paste that wherever you'd like to save it. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you for this. It just was a reminder to me of something that I've forgotten for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And also thank you to Brian for setting all that up, the organization of it.
Yes.
Hey,
Okay.
Tim, I have a question.
Yeah.
So you just sent us the URL.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we just put that in our browser, or we put that in
Okay.
Sink or Swim, or what?
Oh.
I mean,
I'll show you the next step. So let's see here. Yeah. So what you're going to do is, let me change back over to my main. Okay. So over here on your main screen, the one that has monitor, trade, analyze, scan, all that, you're going to go under setup and you're going to go open shared item. All right. You're going to paste that URL into that area. So I have it in my cut buffer, I believe. Yes, there it is. I'm going to hit preview and it brings up workspace. You just want to rename it, import item as, but go ahead and rename it down here. So rename it and import it. And that will give you everything that's on my screen. Everything I just talked about is all there. And that's how you do it.
Team, is there any way you can just email it to us? Because I'm doing from other, monitor is not there. So, if you just email, I can just cut and paste to there.
Yeah, I can do that, Ashim. No problem.
Thank you.
Back. Let's do this. I'm going to go new. Ashim. And paste it. And there you go, Ashim. I just sent it to you. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
yeah, Tim, when you said, I go to my main screen, it didn't change on my screen. I still have your charts up.
Okay. I'm sorry. Let's do this. Let's share. Nope, that didn't do it. Let's do this. Go that screen. Okay, let's do this. I'll drag this over. All right, now you see my main screen. That's all you should see.
Okay.
Okay, do you see it now?
Yes, I do. It looks like an option chain to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So in that far right corner under setup,
yes.
go open shared item.
Okay.
And then you're just going to paste that URL into the preview, into the shared item URL.
Right.
Hit preview. And then just rename it under the import item as.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
And
Thank you.
then just import it. Okay. No problem. All right. Now let's bring up you and you. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay, we'll go ahead and call it there. And we still have 20 minutes. Let's see if we can get a trade or two in.
Could I ask one question about putting in demand and supply zones?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
How do you do it?
Oh, okay. No problem. Okay, so to put in a, let's say we're going to put in a demand zone. I'm going to get rid of this one up here. And let's right click. Whoops, cancel that. Let's right click. Let's remove that drawing. And let's remove drawing. Okay, so up here is obviously the highest price of the day, demand zone. So I'm going to put my cursor right above the green candle.
I can't see your charts.
Oh, thank you. Let's try this and share. Okay, now you should be able to see them. Let me know if you can see it now.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got the 5-minute chart up. I'm going right above this bearish candle right here at 1150. Right, I'm going to put my tip of my pencil right on top of that. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to add drawing and take the line with the $sign on it. And I'm going to place a line right above, just like that. All right, that's the price level. Now we're going to go right between the green and red candle right there. And we're going to right click, add drawing. And this time we're going to go to the rectangle. And by the way, if you ever have trouble, this thing keeps going away. When you go to one of these submenus, if you drag all the way across it to the right, it won't go away. No matter what you do, it'll stay there. So you can go to the rectangle, and these are 10-cent zones, so 87 to 77. I'm going to put that in right there, and that's how you get the zone in. Now I'm going to go to activate drawing and just clean it up a little bit. Just drag it up a little. And now I'm going to right click, go to edit properties, and I'm going to add a day to it under the date right here. So I don't have to keep dragging it all day. And I'm going to go to color. Click on the color swatch, click on red, click on the color swatch again, go to more, go to HSV, and change the transparency to 60. And that turns it red at 60%. If it's up full red, it gets it's the same color as the bearish red candles, and they hide. So then we're just going to go over here to the price level, edit properties, select the swatch, the color swatch, click on red, and okay it. And that's how we put in a zone. And that's the same for all the zones, except the only difference between the zones is the demand zone on the bottom, the price level is on the bottom, and the supply zone, the price level is on the top. Okay.
You started this by going to drawings first and then selecting the pencil.
Uh-huh. So I'll show you again. We'll go over here to the original one. Yeah. So you grab the pencil, add drawing, grab the icon on the top right of the columns right there, and then just place that line right on top like so. Pencil, add drawing, rectangle, and it's at 479.83. You can see it right here, 479.83. So we're going to go to 73 right there. And as usual, there's always a space between the line, between the rectangle and the price level that I've always got to clean up. So I go to activate drawing, just grab the corner, pull it up a little bit so it's nice and neat right there. And the last thing, I'm going to edit properties, add a day to it. And if I need to change the color, I can go to the swatch. Here, I'm going to make it a minor zone. So I'm going to select gray, color swatch, more, HSV, and 60. And okay it and okay it. And then the price level, we'll just change the color of that by going to edit properties, color swatch, gray, boom. Now we got a minor zone put in. And that's all there is to it. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other
And you
questions?
got-
Yeah.
You got the pencil from the drawing menu, is that correct?
The pencil, you can get it, yeah, from the drawing menu.
Okay.
Yes,
Glad
you
to
are,
know
you're
that.
correct.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yeah. So you can go up to the drawing menu, drawing tools.
Okay,
You can get it from there.
is that where you got it from before, or did you have a shortcut to get it?
I didn't, no, I don't have a shortcut. I just,
Got it there.
yeah. And also there's that and the other tools. Okay. As soon as you add a drawing tool, it will change it to the pencil. So actually, I'm wrong about that. Let me remove that drawing. All right, if we go under drawings and we go to drawing tools and we select the pointer. All right, so the pointer's there, but to get the pencil, if it's not already there, we're going to right click, go to add drawing and select, anything. And that gives you the pencil tool.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Going once, going twice. Okay, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. For now, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.